The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was built to show power. The ceiling stretched so high that human eyes had to strain to see it. The walls glowed with energy that came from stars themselves. Every surface showed the strength of 1,000 civilizations working together. Lisa stood at the entrance and felt very small. She carried a wooden bow in her hands. The wood was dark and strong. The string was made from materials that humans had used for 10,000 years. In the case at her side were arrows with sharp heads, nothing electronic, nothing that used power, just wood, string, and sharpness. It was what humanity had sent to show the galaxy what humans could do. The other species were already there. The Empire had displays of weapons that fired beams of pure energy. They showed technology that could split atoms with a thought. They had machines that bent space itself. Their equipment made sounds like the breathing of gods. Lights flashed across their displays in patterns too quick for human eyes to follow. Lisa walked forward. Her boots made small sounds on the floor. Every step felt heavy with embarrassment. The representatives of the alien species turned to look at her. Their eyes were different shapes and colors. Some had many eyes. Some had none that humans could see. But they all looked at the wooden bow in her hands, and then their expressions changed. Some of them made sounds that Lisa understood were laughter. The commander stepped forward. His body was covered in plates that looked like metal. He had 4 arms, and each arm had claws that could cut through walls. His voice was low and made the floor vibrate when he spoke. "Human," he said, "what is this primitive thing you bring to our council? Is this a joke from your species?" Lisa kept her face calm. She had trained for this moment. She had known it would be hard. "This is the bow," she said. Her voice was clear and steady. "It is a tool that humans have perfected over many thousands of years. It is a weapon of great importance to my people." They made a sound like wind through a canyon. It was their laugh. "A stick and string," one of them said. "You bring a stick and string to a meeting of the greatest powers in the galaxy. This is insulting." They did not speak. They just watched Lisa with their strange eyes. There were 12 of them, and they all moved together like they were one thing instead of many. Their attention made Lisa's skin feel cold. The human turned and faced the council. There were 50 members seated in a circle. They came from 50 different worlds and 50 different forms of life. Lisa had studied each one before coming here. She knew their names. She knew their history. She knew the power they controlled. "The bow is simple," Lisa said. "Yes, this is true, but human strength is not in the complexity of our tools. It is in something else, something that no amount of technology can replace." One of the council members stood up. She was from the Shura, a species that looked like crystals made into the shape of an animal. Her voice made sounds like ice breaking. "Explain," the Shura said. Lisa took a breath. This was the moment where she had to make them understand. This was why she had come across the stars alone. "Humans come from a world called Earth," Lisa began. "It is not a safe world. It is not easy. We have creatures that hunt from above and below. We have weather that can kill us. We have enemies in every forest and ocean. For millions of years, humans survived this world using only what we could make with our hands and minds. We learned to hunt. We learned to move without making sound. We learned to see our prey from very far away and strike it down with simple tools. We became very good at this. We became perfect at this." She held up the bow. The wood shone in the strange light of the council chamber. "This is not a primitive weapon," Lisa said. "This is the weapon of an apex predator. Humans are not weak. We are not new to the galaxy. We are hunters. We are survivors. We come from a world that teaches us to never give up and to see danger before it sees us. We are different from you. We think different. We see things different." The council members looked at each other. Lisa could see them talking without words. Their minds were connected by technology that humans did not have. They were sharing thoughts at the speed of light. The commander made a sound that came from deep in his chest. "Pretty words, human," he said. "But words are not power. Power is what matters. Power is what we measure civilization by. Your stick and string have no power. They have no energy. They cannot destroy the enemies of the galaxy. You are a developing species. You are children playing with toys. The council has no need for such things." He turned away from her. So did many of the others. They went back to their displays. They started talking about real weapons and real defense systems. Lisa stood alone with her bow. But she did not feel bad. She felt something else, something cold and certain. She had tried to warn them. She had tried to tell them. Now they would have to learn the truth another way. In the dark spaces between stars, something was moving. Something was coming. Something was hunting. And the sensors that the Galactic Council had made, the machines they trusted with their safety, were going dark one by one. The darkness was spreading fast, very fast. Lisa could not know it yet, but the predator was coming for the prey, and the prey did not even know they were being hunted. She walked out of the council chamber, carrying her bow. Behind her, the laughter of aliens still echoed off. The alarm came 3 days later. Not a gentle warning, not a soft bell, a sound that made every being in the council station feel death approaching. The sirens screamed. The lights turned red. Everywhere, aliens moved in panic. Lisa was in her quarters when it happened. She felt the station shudder. She felt the ship move like something alive that was hurt. She knew immediately. The thing she had been waiting for had arrived. She ran to the council chamber. No one stopped her. No one cared about protocol now. There was only fear. The commander was shouting orders. They were moving like water, their bodies flowing from one position to another. They sat very still, their many eyes open wide. All around the council, displays showed data. Red dots, blue dots, green lines that showed the path of something moving through space, something that should not be there. The Shura crystal was broken. Cracks ran through her body. Her voice was weaker now. "We are losing ships," she said. "Something is destroying them. We cannot see it on our sensors. We cannot detect it. Our weapons cannot find it." Lisa moved closer to the displays. She looked at the data. The red dots were the enemy. There were many of them. They were moving fast. They were not moving in straight lines. They were moving the way a hunter moves, circling, watching, looking for weakness. "What is the enemy using?" Lisa asked. "What weapon technology do they have?" The commander turned to her. His eyes were like fire now. "We do not know," he said. "Our sensors fail. One moment we have contact. The next moment we have nothing. It is like they are erasing our ability to see them. Every detection system we have built is useless. Every scanner is going dark. Every radar is blind." Lisa closed her eyes. She could see it now. She could see exactly what was happening. "They are hunting you," she said. Everyone stopped. They looked at her like she had gone crazy. "What did you say, human?" they asked. "They are hunting you," Lisa said again. Her voice was steady. "They are predators, real predators, not weapon systems, not machines. They are living things that hunt, and they hunt the way apex predators hunt. They do not use machines that send signals. They do not use electronic sensors. They hunt the way I hunt, the way my people hunt." A representative moved closer. She had many tentacles, and each tentacle could think a little bit. "Explain," she said. "How does an animal hunt without detection systems?" "Eyes," Lisa said. "They use eyes, they see movement, they see light and dark, they see the shape of a hunter, they watch, they wait, they move without sound, they move without electronic signature. A predator does not need a scanner to hunt prey. A predator needs something much simpler. A predator needs patience and instinct." They made a sound. It was a vibration that went through the station. Lisa understood it meant they were listening, really listening, not like before. Another alarm came. This one was different. This one meant a ship was gone, a whole ship with thousands of aliens on it. Gone, destroyed by something they could not see. The commander looked at Lisa. For the first time, he did not look strong. He looked like prey. "What do we do?" he asked. "What do we do against an enemy we cannot see?" "You cannot do anything," Lisa said, "but I can." The council chamber went quiet. Every creature in that room was looking at her. The human, the one they had laughed at, the one they had called weak. "I was born to see what you cannot," Lisa said. "I was born to move the way you cannot. I was born to hunt things that are hunting you. This is why humans are different. This is why I brought a bow." The commander did not laugh this time. He gave an order. His voice was different now. It was the voice of a warrior who had just understood that he was in the presence of someone more dangerous than himself. "Assemble every human on this station," he said. "Get them weapons, get them training. We will trust the prey to become the hunter." Lisa nodded. She walked out of the council chamber. Behind her, the aliens scrambled. They sent messages to other stations. They called for human soldiers. They opened their arsenals. But they did not give humans weapons made of light and energy. They gave them something much more dangerous. They gave humans freedom. In the training chamber, Lisa stood with 30 human soldiers. They came from Earth. They came from colonies on other worlds. They were pilots and engineers and scientists. But they all had one thing in common. They all had the blood of hunters in their veins. Lisa distributed the weapons. Bows, arrows, spears that did not use power, slings made from leather. Everything was simple. Everything was old. Everything worked the way humanity had learned to make it work over 10,000 years of survival. "We are not fighting like they fight," Lisa told the humans. "We are fighting like we are made to fight. We are going to be silent. We are going to be dark. We are going to move without being seen. And we are going to show these creatures what it means to be hunted by something that understands hunting from birth." The human soldiers looked at each other. For the first time since they had come to the stars, they did not feel weak. They felt like what they really were: predators, survivors, the children of a world that had taught them to kill or die. Lisa took her bow and walked to the launch bay. Behind her, 30 human warriors followed. They were going into the darkness. They were going to hunt something that had never been hunted before. They were going to show the galaxy what humans really were. The Vex did not know. The creatures that came from the dark between stars, the things that hunted with instinct and predator sense. They did not know that they had made a terrible mistake. They had come to a part of space where humanity lived. They had come hunting the weak. The council chamber was full of fear. Every creature sat in silence. The displays showed ship after ship falling. The blue lines were gone. The green lines were gone. All that was left were the red dots of the enemy. They were winning. They were winning so completely that no one could even think about stopping them. Then a sound came through the communication system. It was Lisa's voice. Her message was simple. "We know what they are," she said. "We know how to fight them. Stop using your machines. Stop using your sensors. Listen to us now." The commander wanted to speak, but he waited. He had learned something in the last few hours. Humans knew things that technology could not teach. Lisa appeared in the council chamber through the transmission system. Her face was calm. Her eyes were clear. She had been in space, watching, learning, hunting, and now she had come back to tell the council what she had found. "The Vex are not a new form of weapon," Lisa began. "They are a form of life. They are predators, real predators like the apex predators of Earth. They have evolved over millions of years to hunt by using senses that you have no names for. They can sense heat from very far away. They can hear the vibration of an engine through the vacuum of space. They can see movement that is smaller than your vision can detect. But they have never hunted something like humans." She stepped forward. Every council member watched her. "We come from Earth," Lisa said. "A world with gravity that pulls hard, a world with heat from the sun that beats down without mercy, a world with creatures that hunt from the air and from the ground. We have lived with predators for our entire existence. For millions of years we have been the prey, but we did not stay prey. We learned. We learned to see the hunter before the hunter sees us. We learned to move without making a sound. We learned to smell the wind and know what is coming. We learned to listen to the smallest sounds and understand danger from far away." They made their vibration sound. Lisa understood they wanted her to continue. "The Vex hunt the way I hunt," Lisa said. "They use their senses. They do not use machines that broadcast signals. They do not use technology that creates a trail of light and energy. They hunt in silence. They hunt in darkness, but they are not invisible, not to us, not to humans." She pointed at the displays. "Your sensors are too advanced," Lisa said. "They look for patterns that technology makes, but the Vex do not make technology patterns. They move like animals move. Your machines cannot see them because your machines are looking for the wrong thing. You are looking for signals. You should be looking for movement. You should be looking for shadow. You should be looking for the small things that show a hunter is close." The Shura crystal tried to speak. Her voice was very weak now. "Then how do we fight them?" she asked. Lisa smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was the smile of a hunter who could see prey. "Do not fight them with your technology," Lisa said. "We fight them with our bodies. We fight them with weapons that do not broadcast signals. We fight them with arrows that fly through space without any electronic signature at all. An arrow is just wood and metal. It makes no sound that your machines can hear. It creates no energy that your sensors can detect. It is invisible to everything except eyes. And the Vex have eyes. They have many eyes, but they have never seen an arrow coming at them before." The commander stood up. "How many Vex can you kill?" he asked. "All of them," Lisa said. "Given time, given darkness, given patience, we will kill all of them because we are what they thought they were hunting. We are predators, we are not prey, and we will teach them the meaning of fear." The council went silent. In this moment they understood. They understood that they had almost died. They understood that they had mocked the thing that was going to save them. They understood that technology was not the answer to every problem. Lisa turned to leave. "Wait," they said. Their voices came together like music made from mathematics. What is the price for this help? What do humans want? Lisa stopped. She looked back at the council. Recognition, she said. You laughed at us. You said we were primitive. You said we had nothing to offer. We want you to remember that you were wrong. We want you to remember that strength comes in many forms. We want you to understand that the most advanced civilization in the galaxy almost fell to an enemy that your technology could not touch. And it took the oldest knowledge humans have to save you. It took hunting. It took predator instinct. It took the things we learned on Earth when your civilizations did not even exist yet. The council members looked at each other. We accept your price, they said. Humanity will be honored. Humanity will be remembered. Lisa gave a command into her communication device. Go, she said. Hunt. In the darkness between stars, human fighters moved. They had no lights. They had no signals. They moved like ghosts. They moved like predators that had learned their skill from 1,000,000 years of survival. They had bows made from materials that glowed in the dark of space. They had arrows that could pierce any hull. They had patience that no machine could match. The first Vex to die was a hunter that had taken 50 ships. It was a creature made of muscle and teeth and hunger. It moved through space like water. It thought it was the apex predator of this region of the galaxy. Then an arrow hit it. Not an arrow with a computer guidance system. Not an arrow with sensors. Just an arrow that was seen by human eyes and released by human hands. An arrow that flew through space following the laws of physics that had existed since the beginning of the universe. The Vex creature did not understand. It had never been wounded by something so simple. It tried to find the source of the arrow, but the human was already gone, already hidden, already moving to the next position. More Vex fell, one after another. Some fought back, some tried to run, but humans were patient. Humans were relentless. Humans had learned their skill on a world that showed no mercy. A world that demanded perfection. A world that killed anything that was not good enough to survive. The battle lasted 7 days. In those 7 days, the Vex learned what it meant to face an enemy they could not understand. One by one, their ships fell, not to energy weapons, not to nuclear devices, not to technology that glowed and burned. They fell to arrows, to spears, to projectiles made from materials that had been used to hunt for 10,000 years. The humans moved in teams. Each team had 5 hunters. They operated in the darkness of space in ships that ran on minimal power, ships that showed no heat signature, ships that moved like predators move, silent, patient, invisible until the moment of the kill. Captain Lisa led the main hunting team. She had studied the patterns of the Vex. She understood how they hunted. She knew their weaknesses. She knew the way they thought, because she thought the same way. Every hunter thinks the same way. Whether they are human hunting deer on Earth 10,000 years ago or humans hunting alien creatures at the edge of known space. The first Vex commander died when an arrow pierced the core of its ship. The arrow had been fired from over 3,000 miles away, from a distance so great that the Vex commander never even sensed the presence of a hunter. It died confused. It died not understanding how something so simple could be so deadly. The second commander tried a different strategy. It gathered its forces together. It tried to create a defensive formation. It tried to use the same tactics that had worked against the Council's fleets. But humans do not fight like fleets fight. Humans fight like predators fight. Lisa led a team of 12 hunters. They did not attack the Vex formation. They waited, they watched, they circled. For hours they did nothing but observe and study. The other teams waited in silence. They understood. They had been taught by a world that showed no mercy how to be patient. Then Lisa gave a signal. Not with electronics, not with radio waves, with her hand, a gesture, the oldest form of communication between hunters. The arrows flew. They came from 12 different directions at once. They came from distances that spanned thousands of miles. There was no warning. There was no energy blast to signal the attack. There was just the whisper of projectiles moving through the vacuum of space. There was just the moment of impact. 8 Vex ships fell in that moment. 8 creatures died without understanding what had happened. The remaining Vex commander saw his entire formation destroyed in seconds. He tried to flee, but humans knew how to cut off the escape route. Humans knew how to corner prey. Humans knew how to drive an animal forward and then strike it down when it was exhausted. By the 3rd day, more than half of the Vex force was gone. Their numbers had dropped from 300 to 120. The Vex commander who led them was old, very old. It had hunted for 200 years. It had never been defeated. It had never met an enemy that could match its predator instinct. But now it faced humans. The old Vex commander did something that surprised the humans. It sent a message, not a threat, not a war declaration. It sent a message asking to understand. Lisa received the message in her command ship. She read it. She understood. The old Vex commander wanted to know how it had lost. It wanted to know why its hunting instinct had failed. Lisa sent back a response. She did not hide. She did not try to look stronger than she was. She told the truth. "You came to hunt prey that are not prey," Lisa wrote. "We are predators. We are apex predators. We come from a world that has taught us for millions of years how to hunt things that are larger and stronger than we are. You hunt the way a wolf hunts, but we hunt the way an eagle hunts. We strike from places you cannot see. We use patience instead of strength. We use intelligence instead of power. We are not like the species you have hunted before. We are different. We are human." The old Vex commander understood. It sent back a message that said it would surrender. It would lead the remaining Vex away from human space. It would never return. It would carry the story of this battle back to the creatures of the dark spaces. It would tell them about humans. It would tell them that a new apex predator had joined the galaxy. But Lisa did not accept the surrender. She sent one more message. "A true predator does not let its enemy flee," she wrote. "A true predator finishes the hunt." The battle lasted one more day. By the end, only the old Vex commander remained. It was damaged. It was slow. It was dying. Lisa faced it alone. Just her and the creature that had come to hunt the galaxy. She fired one arrow, just one. She had learned from a world of hunters that the killing blow is often the simplest one. The arrow flew through space. It moved in a straight line because gravity and momentum do not care about complexity. It struck the Vex commander at the moment of the kill. The creature understood. In its final moment, it understood that it had come to the wrong part of space. It had come looking for weak prey. It had found apex predators instead. It had come looking for things that could be hunted. It had found hunters. The old commander died. The last of the Vex fell. The battle was over. The council sent ships to collect the dead. They sent ships to assess the damage. When they reached the location of the final kill, they found Lisa in her command chair. She was sitting very still. Her bow was in her hands. She was looking out at the stars. The council members approached her carefully. They did not know if she was alive or dead. Humans were not like them. Humans could sit in silence without any sign of life. Humans could be still like statues and still be thinking deep thoughts. Lisa turned to look at them. Her eyes were clear. Her face showed no emotion. "It is finished," she said. "The Vex will not come back. The story of this battle will travel through the dark spaces. Other creatures will hear what happened here. They will think carefully before they come to hunt us again." The commander stepped forward. His attitude was completely different now. The mocking was gone. The superiority was gone. "You have saved the galaxy," he said. "You have earned the respect of every civilization that exists." Lisa stood up. She held her bow. "No," she said. "We have reminded the galaxy of something that was forgotten. We have shown that strength is not always measured in technology. We have shown that knowledge that is old is not the same thing as knowledge that is weak. We are human. We are hunters. We are what your ancestors feared when they looked at the night sky, and we have just reminded everyone why they should fear us." She walked past the council members. She walked toward her ship. Behind her, the aliens watched. They were seeing her clearly for the first time, not as a weak primitive species, but as something else. Something that had survived the harshest world in the galaxy, something that had learned to kill from birth, something the council chamber was full again. But this time, no one laughed. The members of 50 civilizations sat in silence. They waited for Lisa to speak. She stood in the center of the chamber with her bow still in her hands. The wood was now. There were burn marks on it from Vex weapons. There were dents where impact had come close. The bow had been through a battle. It had survived. It had won. Lisa did not begin with anger. She did not begin with blame. She began with a story. "When humans were young on Earth," she said, "we lived in caves. We did not have cities of light. We did not have technology that could measure the stars. We had only what we could make with our hands. We had only what we could think with our minds. We had hunger. We had fear. We had predators that were faster and stronger than we were. But we had something else. We had the will to survive. We had patience. We had the ability to understand our enemies and use their own strength against them. They made their vibration sound. It meant they were listening carefully. We hunted mammoth," Lisa continued. Animals that were 20 times larger than we were, animals that could kill us with a single step, but we were smarter, we were better at planning, we were better at cooperation, we used the bow, we used spears, we used the land and the weather, we killed the mammoth and we survived. This was the beginning of human strength, not technology, not power, thinking, understanding, patience. The Shura crystal was being repaired. New crystal was being grown to replace what had broken, but she could still listen. Her voice was weaker, but it still had strength. "You came to us and showed us your weapons," she said. "We were impressed by the power of your machines, but power is not the same as strength." Lisa nodded. "Power destroys," she said, "but strength endures. We destroyed your enemy. We did this not because we had stronger weapons. We did this because we understood hunting. We understood predators. We understood that sometimes the most deadly weapon is one that has no electricity inside it, one that has no computer to guide it, one that simply obeys the laws of physics and the accuracy of a hunter's eye." The commander stood up. He was not angry, he was something else. He was understanding. "What do humans ask from the council?" he said. "We owe you more than we can measure." Lisa looked at him, then she looked at all the council members. "We ask for honesty," she said. "We ask that you stop measuring civilizations only by their technology. We ask that you understand that there are many forms of intelligence. There are many forms of strength. A civilization that can split atoms is powerful, but a civilization that can survive on a world of predators and apex hunters is strong in a different way. We ask that humans be given a voice in this council. We ask that you listen when we speak. We ask that you remember this day. We ask that you remember that we saved the Galactic Council with a bow and arrows." The council members looked at each other. They sent thoughts through their connections without words. In seconds, they had all agreed. "Humanity will have a seat on the council," the Shura said. "Your voice will be heard when decisions are made." Lisa bowed her head. It was the gesture of respect in human culture. She knew it would mean something to the council because she had studied them. She had learned their ways. She had done what a good hunter always does. She had studied her prey before the kill. In this case, the prey had become allies. "There is one more thing," Lisa said. She looked at the commander. "I want to teach. I want to create a school for hunters. I want to teach the young of your species what it means to be a predator. I want to teach them to think like hunters think. Many civilizations have warriors, but they do not have hunters. A warrior follows orders. A hunter understands the truth without being told. A hunter knows when to strike and when to wait. A hunter sees the world the way it really is, not the way they wish it to be. I want to teach your species this. I want to teach all species this." They made a new sound. It was a sound that meant agreement and respect. "Humans will teach the galaxy how to be strong," they said. In the weeks that followed, everything changed. Humans were given resources that they had never had before. Lisa opened a school on a neutral station. Aliens came from every civilization to learn. A learned how to move with patience. A crystal from the Shura learned how to understand the minds of other creatures. A learned that sometimes the most powerful thing was the simplest thing. But not everyone was happy. There were some aliens who still felt the old pride. There were some who thought that humans had simply gotten lucky. There were some who did not believe that technology was less important than instinct. Lisa did not argue with them. She simply smiled, the smile of a hunter who knows the truth. 6 months later, a merchant ship belonging to a civilization called the was attacked by pirates. The pirates had advanced weapons. They had shields that could block energy blasts, but the merchant ship had something different. It had a human security officer had learned from Lisa. He understood how to hunt. Disabled the pirate ship using only tactics and observation. He used the environment. He used their own weapons against them. He used patience. The pirates who had raided 100 ships were stopped by one human who had learned to think like a hunter. The story spread through the galaxy. More humans were hired. More humans were trained. Slowly, every civilization began to understand that Earth had given birth to something special. Not just another species. A species of hunters. A species that understood predators and prey the way no other species did. Lisa stood on the observation deck of the council station and looked out at the stars. Behind her, the council members watched in silence. They had given her this moment. They had given her this honor. She was no longer a representative of a weak species. She was the teacher of the Galactic Council. She was the hunter who had saved the galaxy. She was Lisa, and she was human. A young came to stand beside her, one of her students. The student looked out at the stars and asked a question. "Do you miss Earth?" they asked. Lisa was quiet for a long moment. She thought about the forests of her. She thought about the mountains and the oceans. She thought about the predators that had shaped her kind for millions of years. "Every day," she said, "but I brought Earth to the stars. I brought the knowledge of hunters to a galaxy that had forgotten what it meant to be strong. Earth is with me, Earth is in me, and Earth is now the teacher of the galaxy." They understood. They had learned from Lisa that sometimes the most important things cannot be measured by machines. Sometimes they can only be understood by the heart. Lisa raised her bow and pointed it at the stars. The wood gleamed in the light of distant suns. The string was still strong. The arrows were still sharp. She had come to the galaxy as a joke, a human with a primitive weapon, but she had left her mark. She had changed everything. The ancient hunter instinct of humanity had come to the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Every species would now understand that the most deadly predator was not always the one with the most powerful weapon. The most deadly predator was the one that understood hunger, the one that understood survival, the one that understood what it meant to be human. In the darkness of space, civilizations whispered the story. They whispered about the woman with the bow. They whispered about how she had saved them all. They whispered about how humans were not prey. They whispered about how Earth had sent apex predators to the stars. And somewhere in the distant dark, something heard the story and understood. It understood that the galaxy had changed. It understood that humans had arrived. It understood that it was better to stay away from the hunters of Earth. The story of Lisa and her bow had become legend, and legends, once spoken, never die. Hat had come to the stars and reminded everyone that predators never really change. They just find new prey. The Vex had come to the wrong part of the galaxy. They had come to hunt humans, and humans were what they found, but not the kind of humans they expected, not the weak kind, not the prey kind. The killer kind. But weakness and strength are not always measured by the tools you use. Sometimes they are measured by the hunter in your heart, and no creature in the galaxy had a hunter in its heart like humanity did. The ships launched. The humans went into the darkness, and for the first time in a very long time, something in the universe learned what true fear felt like. Walls, they did not know that in 3 days they would stop laughing forever. They would learn what it meant to face something that was not made of metal and energy. They would learn what it meant to face humans. For now, Lisa went back to her quarters and cleaned her bow. She checked the string. She tested the arrows. She did the things that her ancestors had done for 10,000 years. She prepared for the hunt. The stars were waiting, the darkness was waiting, and humanity was ready.